Hey guys, welcome to or welcome back to my channel. Isabel here. It has been a really long time since I've come on YouTube at all. I definitely took a step back and just took a little break from recording. Life has been, it's been a lot of changes. If you've been watching my videos in the past, you can probably see I'm in like a completely different environment. My husband and I ended up moving out of the city into like the burbs, so I'm actually planning on making a complete new video on that and why we made that decision. Today I wanted to just dive in about hitting reset at 30. So today is actually August 24th 2024 and I turn 30 years old in about a month, so September 23rd, and it just kind of hit me like, wow, I'm turning 30. Like, I'm starting a whole new decade, a whole new era of me. And I don't want to take that lightly. Like, I honestly feel like this is like a whole new chapter that I'm starting. And I feel that my life is kind of hitting a reset without me really trying. Like, it's all sort of aligning with my birthday coming up. And I just feel like it would be really helpful to come on here and talk about it, because for anyone else who's like starting a new era, starting a new decade, maybe it's just your birthday and you're like, I just want to hit reset, even if it's not like a new decade or like a really big number that you feel is necessary to like celebrate. But I feel like each birthday is like celebratory, you know? So anyways, yeah, I wanted to talk about hitting reset at 30 and some ways that I'm personally doing that and planning to hit reset, and hopefully help you guys, give you guys some tips on how to just like reset your life whenever you feel that that is necessary. For me, it is my 30th birthday, and part of me is scared to turn 30, but the other side of me is like super excited, and I feel like I'm entering like a grown woman era. You know what I mean? Anyways, so let me not stray off topic. So I have about like 6 main topics that I want to hit in this video on how I'm personally hitting reset at 30, and just kind of resetting my life in the sense of like intention and just tapping into like a higher version of myself. So the first thing I'm doing is resetting my environment. Changing your environment can have such a huge impact on just your mind and your body as well. Sometimes if we're in the same environment where we have certain habits that we would like to dissociate from. I know for me, when we lived in the city, it was just like a high stress environment. You couldn't really escape the noise. Like, we lived in a pretty big building, like right outside DC. We lived on the 15th floor, so you'd think like you'd be far enough from the street to like not really experience that much like noise and things like that, but the amount of construction, like sirens, just like just excess like noise that you don't necessarily realize is there until you move away from it, that is real. Like, it was a lot harder to just like concentrate and be creative and like really tap into a deeper like thought process, I guess, when it came to creativity for me, when there were so many distractions, or even just like things to do, ways to spend money, like all of those things. But basically what I'm trying to say is, for me, changing my environment looked like, okay, my lease is up. What are some things that I've been wanting in a new environment? And that was more space, more peace, and just somewhere that gave me good energy and good vibes. So right now we're in like a rent to own type of situation, but we're definitely far away from the city, like far enough but close enough to a different like area where there's still those opportunities. So I feel like coming into this new space, we've been able to just like redesign what it is that we want in a space and get that like creative spark back. On top of that, we went from a 1-bedroom den to a 3-bedroom home. So it's still not like a huge home, but it just definitely gives us like a bit more space to maybe like me coming in the office and working, and like him being able to be out there and work on something else, and just kind of have that like mental clarity, that mental space. And also it's like quiet if you haven't noticed. So anyways, that would be my first tip when trying to reset. I'm not saying you have to move, but if you could like, I don't know, reorganize your bedroom or switch up the layout of your bedroom, like maybe change where your furniture is, where your bed is, go through your things and like purge and declutter. Those are all really helpful ways to just reset your environment in general. So yeah, that would be tip number 1. So the second thing that I plan on doing and then working on doing to reset at 30 is changing my behavior. And I wanted to kind of dive into the 6 stages of behavior change, which you've probably heard of, but yeah, I feel that I can usually pinpoint where I am in those stages depending on like where I'm at in life. So the 6 stages are, let me see if I can remember without looking. Pre-contemplation stage, contemplation, preparation, pre-contemplation, contemplation, preparation, maintenance. No. Okay. Pre-contemplation, contemplation, preparation, action, I think, maintenance, and relapse. I think relapse is the last one. Let me triple check. I don't want to steer y'all wrong. Yeah, so pre-contemplation, contemplation, preparation, action, maintenance, and relapse. So let me go into like what each stage means in like a short Spark Notes version. Pre-contemplation is basically when you're just like thinking about something, like it's on your mind, but you're not really like, it's there, but you're like, It's like, I want to start working out. I really should, but like, that sounds hard. And then you kind of like dismiss the thought, right? So then contemplation is like, there's a couple gyms in my area. Like maybe I could, you know, check them out. Maybe I should join one of these gyms. Like it's really close. Like there's no excuse. Preparation is like, let me go visit. Let me get a gym membership. Like let me plan on getting this gym membership. Maybe let me save up to get a gym membership. You're kind of in that preparation of like making the change. And then you have action, which is like, I get the gym membership and I'm actually going to the gym, right? And then maintenance is like consistency, right? Like I'm going to the gym on a regular basis. I'm trying to maintain this habit that I have, like I've created for myself, and holding myself accountable, maintenance. And then relapse is just like, a lot of people end up relapsing when it comes to the 6 stages of change, where they kind of maybe backtrack and they're like, this is getting expensive. Like maybe I should like downgrade my membership. I won't go as often, or they just stop showing up for themselves. So with all that being said, I feel like for me right now, I'm definitely in like the action phase, because I am in motion. Like I'm physically doing things that are helping me get to this point of resetting for my 30th birthday. And then I'm trying to build those habits to then be able to maintain them and hopefully not relapse. That's kind of where I'm at with that, whether it comes to like my health, even like being consistent here on YouTube with y'all and like social media in general. Yeah, I have so many updates for y'all. So I haven't like told you guys like career wise and things like that have happened, but it's all good. It's just like I'm in this action phase, like, so things aren't like set in stone. I haven't been doing any of these things for very long. I'm just like acting on them now, but I do plan to make a video on like my career and where that's going. So yeah, we'll talk about that in another video. So number 3, the third thing that I would say is really crucial when it comes to resetting your life or resetting for a big event, whatever that may be, is like changing your mindset on what your capabilities are. So I feel like I saw this quote that was like, changing your mind can change your life, right? So like, I think we all hold an identity or an idea of what it is, like who we are and what our capabilities are, right? And so for me personally, the idea of being an entrepreneur was not always a belief that is something that I could accomplish, or that is something that is in my like capabilities of accomplishing. It really before wasn't like it was an idea, but I would see it as something that like other people did and that I didn't do, if that makes sense. And so when it comes to like changing your mindset around like who you are and what it is that you're capable of, it's like almost becoming a little bit delusional in the sense that you believe that you can do whatever it is that whatever your desires are, like you can do them, and it just takes like work and action. And so that's a huge part of 30 for me. Like even another thing that's like been on my mind is like being a mom. Like I feel like it's so comfortable for me to see other people doing that and like being pregnant and like actually being a parent, but when it comes to me, it's just like, whoa. Like I don't know if that's for me. Like I know it is, but like it's hard to like imagine that it's like that me doing it, if that makes sense. So I think it's just like reframing how it is that we see ourselves and kind of like allowing ourselves to put on these different hats that maybe we've only designated for other people. I think that's another crucial point, is just like expanding that idea of like, I am this girl, I am that girl, I am like whatever it is that I set my mind to, I can be that person. And so that's where I'm at right now, just trying to adopt that mindset around things. It's like a more limitless idea of self. And what also goes hand in hand with that is just like changing your values and beliefs to coincide with this new version of yourself. So like really reevaluating what is important to you. Unlearning for me is like huge right now in this like time of resetting, because I think for so long I was comfortable in chasing and doing and living a life that I felt made sense. Like I'm supposed to want to live in this area, I'm supposed to want to live in this environment or do this job or dress this way, whatever it may be. It's just like, have you actually assessed why you do those things, why you live in the place that you live, why you feel the need to dress the way that you dress or go to the job that you go to? Like, I don't know what it is, but like, why? You know what I mean? And a lot of that unlearning has come from just like listening to certain podcasts, listening to interviews where, like, for example, like sustainable living, right? Like this idea of like consumerism for me was very normal. Like I'm a consumer and I have an Amazon account, and I just like, whenever I feel like I need something, I just like order it and it's like at my door like the next day. And I think part of this whole like unlearning process was like, wait, why is that normal? Like, why is it normal for me to want and then get like immediately? There's no like there's no like moment in that where I like stop and assess like, where is this gonna go once I'm done with it? Like, is this a long-term purchase? Does this thing have value? Like, am I assessing how much money I'm actually spending on this like app every month or whatever? And like, there's just so many things. How am I affecting the environment? Like, not to go like super left with it, but I think looking at your life like under a microscope can be a little bit like daunting, because you're like, wait, like, am I making my own decisions all the time? Like, or am I just being like told what I need, what I want to buy, who I want to be, how I should live my life? So I think that's also kind of like piggybacking off my last point, is just like assessing who we are, why we do the things we do, what actually matters to us, and how to align those things with how we live our life every day. And that's kind of where what I'm getting at right now, is just like, how do I actually want my days to feel like? What do I actually want to be doing every day? What do I want my career to look like? How do I want to feel when I wake up in the morning? And like, yeah, like, what am I working towards, basically? So yeah, that would be another big thing for me. And I think these last two sort of, I lost track of how many I've talked about, but I think these last two also kind of piggyback. So number 5 would be changing your identity. So the same way in which you're assessing like why you do the things that you do, it's like, who do you want to show up as every single day? What do you want to be known for? And like, who do you want to be in general? Like, show up as that person. And don't be afraid to kind of like change the status quo, or like show up differently in the same spaces. I think that's a huge thing that like my husband and I have talked about. It's like, it gets scary when like people know you for a certain thing, even on like social media. It's like, you know me as the girl that does this, that makes content about this, whatever. And then the thought of like changing that identity online and trying to like make people comfortable with this new person that you're trying to be or show up as can be like really intense. And I think a lot of us even experience that with like the people closest to us, like family and friends, trying to show up as that person authentically without like with that fear of like someone judging you for like changing paths and changing courses, because a lot of people just won't understand like why you're doing certain things, because they're not you. And so I think just like having the courage to show up as a new person in the same spaces and with the same people around can be a little bit scary. So I think the whole identity shift can be a little bit scary, and like with that, changing the purpose of why you do the things you do, which kind of piggybacks. So your purpose, your identity, your values and beliefs, your mindset, and your habits, like these are all very similar, but I do feel like it's stages, right? We have to initially assess like who we are, why, like what are we doing right now? We look at ourselves like from an outside perspective, like what am I doing every day? And then figuring out like why we do those things, and be like, are these things I still want to do? If not, how do I get to the point of doing the things that I want to do? And then being able to like get into those habits and like change the way that we show up every day. I feel like that was a little bit drawn out, but that's sort of like where I am right now in terms of resetting before my 30th birthday, which is so crazy. Like, I feel very aligned right now though. Like, I do feel that everything is happening in like this very strategic way, and I know God is like in control. I'm just kind of like, if it's supposed to be, it'll be. Like, if I'm supposed to get this job, I'll get this job. If this thing is supposed to work out, it'll work out. Obviously I have to put in the work as well to like make things happen, but I still feel like 30 is going to be glorious because I'm mentally preparing myself. I'm like physically ready for 30. I feel like my soul is just like more at peace. Like I am more aligned with myself. Like I just feel like I'm not necessarily doing things I don't want to do anymore just because I feel like I'm supposed to be doing them. So with all that being said, I hope you guys took something of value out of this video, and I would love to connect with you guys. Like if you're also like about to turn 30 or I don't know, 20, 40, 50 years old, and you're just ready to hit that reset button and you're just looking for inspiration, I would love to like conversate about this in the comments. And I hope we can like go on this journey together, because it is the year of intention. Like this year, next year is just like so much could change in a year. And I think it's really important for us to be open and ready for that. If that's something that we want to invite in, is like change, we have to like prepare ourselves for that, because the idea of asking for something you're not ready for yet and like getting it and not being ready for it is just as scary as like never getting it, if that makes sense. So like, yeah, I think it's super important to like prepare our hearts, our minds, and our souls for like change when we are asking for that and putting it out in the universe. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I definitely plan on like, knock on wood, like I definitely plan on being more consistent on YouTube. Like now that I'm in this new environment, in this new like headspace, this is something that I really cherish and that I have been missing so much. Like even not being like able, like not showing up on here, I would think about it every single day. Like I would see my camera and be like, oh, I need to film, but I just like wasn't in the space to film. But yeah, I have some videos planned. Also make sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. On Instagram, I am the Isabel Brown, and I'm also on Instagram as Pilates with Izzy for my Pilates content, and same thing for TikTok, the Isabel Brown for my personal, and then Pilates with Izzy for anything Pilates related. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed yet, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Bye.